Welcome back to Refrain Chord, and we're still doing the alternate routes. Chapter 17, A Terrifying Army.
Cheeks tense up.
Pants to be darkened.
Be scared. Be terrified. Ah! Don't speak with your mouth full.
No, don't worry, Pedro. Maybe with a pinch of luck, he's gonna choke and he's gonna die as a result.
Yeah,
But
Aaron, you too, Aaron.
But Tio, if he dies, then that fulfills Al's evil plan.
Well, we don't know yet.
True, they don't know yet, but with Al, that'll be mission accomplished ahead of time. Since he's got a Sonic L6 scheme. Although, yeah, I think we're far enough in the plot that Fleur, Aaron, and Tiara all cared for him enough that him dying would cause their pain and suffering to bubble up.
Yeah, warning, if you've got meat on you, hide it from Fang. I'm not that hungry.
No, that's the thing that I've been heard. One of the things I did hear about the idea that I don't remember this happening the other route, but yes, the devil sympathizes at least a bit with Ibfreet.
Well, that makes sense to be fair, because both of them were in the Institute. So
I feel like we did see some scenes of this in the previous route, actually.
Oh, spare ribs! Yummy.
Oh, love those, and I love fried shrimp too.
Baka.
That's the point, AJ.
Yeah.
Again, I really don't. That this particular running gag doesn't really gel. It just feels like why.
My food is better. No, mine. No, mine. No, mine.
Oh, wait. I see the difference. Originally, in the other route, it was an argument between Eastern food or Western food. This time, I guess it's between ones with grease or ones without.
Oh, there you go. Now we're back to the Japanese food versus Western food thing.
Poor Ibfreet.
Yeah, it's a good job this localization wasn't made 30, 40 years ago. Otherwise, they would have just replaced all the food with like...
One from Boston, the other from Detroit.
Yeah.
Because it's American. That's the thing, though.
Like I said, it's one of my favorite lines from Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. You see this rice bowl, Mr. Kaiba? Now it's a burger, and now it's a cheeseburger. You see, it's the Texan dairy that actually product that makes it more appealing.
That's one thing 4Kids never thought, or any other company that did that for that matter. That was the problem with them localizing things for Americans. They forgot that those things were going out to other countries as well. So a lot of American-centric jokes I never got when, say, when Pokemon or Digimon were doing.
I cannot speak for Pokemon because I didn't watch that much my series in my country, so I cannot tell if the jokes were kept or not. I can tell you that rewatching recently, the whole Banking Minnesota joke from the OVA is completely absent. Instead, it's replaced with us saying they must be the last standing, living around, which it's still relatively stupid for the moment, but makes more sense to me. I don't know if it was in the original script or not.
I wouldn't say all localizations were like that at the time, and to give credit to 4Kids, at some point they did have better restraint over themselves. It was when they got closer to the end when they sadly became the villains. Again, I will say this about 4Kids. They do deserve respect for bringing to light how lucrative anime was to bring over to the West. Not saying that they were the first to ever do it, but they were quite possibly the best coordinated in it. In fact, to their credit, they even improved some things sometimes, especially Pokemon Forever. That was a Herculean effort, but they did focus it more on the relationship between Ash and young Professor Oak, which helped it immensely. Even adding in some scenes to make more sense of the plots. What the heck?
Minor difference here. I seem to recall that at this point already, Ibfreet was already jealous of Marianne, was telling her to be, but she was an old hag. But in this case, actually seems to be more receptive towards her suggestion.
My God, the butterfly effect.
It doesn't really go much of anywhere if you.
I'll take what I can get.
Well, hey! At least we're not gonna get that stupid old
that is true.
Gag, I guess.
That is true. Well, Jova, like you yourself were even implying earlier, you either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Ibfreet is much more friendly with Mariana.
I'm not holding my hopes up and expecting that it's gonna happen anyway later, but at the very least it's holding up so far. So at the very least it's there.
It really does make me wonder what was the thought pattern behind these routes, because yes, now we are seeing more
If I had to guess,
differences.
Jova, more of a case of they wrote a lot of the script to the point that they basically said, we have a bunch of good ideas, but we cannot actually put them all in the same story, so what should we do? I don't know, they split it at one specific
I actually
point,
have something to say
and
about
let's have
this.
this minor difference happening around at this point.
I actually have to one. Okay, so we all know that Al is secretly working with Bernard. We know this. Okay, got it. So we know that he's secretly using all of these people for his own purposes. Okay, cool. He just now took the moment to even ask, oh, do you think Bernard is making an army? Now, I get that, which is something that he already knows the answer to, you know? Now, you can make an argument that the reason he's asking Ibfreet for something he already knows that the characters don't know is to keep up the facade, maybe?
Yeah, feigning ignorance.
Yeah.
I get.
Definitely, like, I mean, it makes the most sense, like, because if Al suddenly mysteriously knows something that he shouldn't know, that's gonna raise a few eyebrows.
Well,
him
well, here's the thing, it's not so much about him knowing it, it's more so about,
hold on. I'd say him asking is basically him covering his ass, essentially, you know, it's like, oh, well, I don't know what this is. Could you please inform me? Like, it's a classic trick, essentially. Like
he said, we compared him to Cheetan from Xenogears for a good reason, because Cheetan also did that all the goddamn time.
Pretty much, yeah. Especially that one weapon he designed, which has you sacrifice yourself
The
to
bounty line,
activate.
yes.
Cheetan was the master of sophistry.
He truly was, and yet, I'll give him credit, we ended up loving him for it.
That man! I wonder who that man could be.
The man in a
Isn't
hood.
that the human antagonist in the Pink Panther cartoon?
No,
He's
if
just
I'm
called Batman, if I recall correctly.
I think he has a name, but let me double check. But it's either, it might be that Teo's right, maybe.
I will say, though, Tiro's theory that these are all aspects that were meant to be part of one giant route but divided into two routes would line up with why Ibfreet warms up to Mariana, since that feels like a character development that we ought to see eventually happen anyway.
It's more of a case of the opposite, Jova. More the case of someone who wrote hilarious jokes about Mariana being an old hag and said, you know, should we put this in the game or not? You know, do you think that Ibfreet's character results better or not? And he's like, maybe we split the plot in two and we see, you know, either scenario happening, we'll let the player decide which is better.
So them throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks.
Alright, we also need this revelation at this point of the story, right?
No, I can't find anything. Alright, moving on.
And to be fair, the whole thing about Mariana being treated like an old lad by the other cast, that also happens in the side quest, which, as far as since Pedro told us, they are the same in either routes. So, again, I don't fucking know.
Unless there's like some minor text variation where the old woman gags are taken out of.
Basically,
Since if I
what?
recall correctly, I don't think any one side quest directly revolved around them calling her old, so that could be
It's
something.
usable for throwaway lines, because, for example, the side quest that involves Ibfreet passing through the gender discriminating wall, I hate that I have to remember that, even if I don't want to. If I recall correctly, did involve him mentioning, you know, throwaway line about, you know, Mariana.
Basically, yeah. Like I actually had at one point to... I actually did at one point do all the side quests in a variation of this route specifically.
And you're definitely certain that every bit of dialogue was the absolute same.
Eventually, well, no, like I've explained before, eventually, after the 5th, 6th, 7th side quest, that was exactly the same copy-pasted. Eventually, I just kind of stopped watching paying attention, because a fear of going into a coma because I just cannot stand how boring I find the cutscenes, right? So at one point, it's just like I kind of just started assuming that they're all the same because, you know, they were literally matching perfectly from what I've seen. Like, even the objectives were the same, the names of the side quests were the same, if it helps you.
Question.
So...
Did you specifically check side quests that are only available after the divergent point?
Yes.
Okay, then.
Oh, Bernard is having a public speech.
Yes.
Okay. Some differences.
Wouldn't you agree about this, Pike?
I miss my wild tales.
I miss my wife. I'll get you next time.
Okay, and now for some reason now he's referred to as that man.
Again, gotta need to keep the audience in suspense.
Yeah, again, they know it's Al, but we can't possibly know. Like that funny thing. Oh.
Nah, you think?
You don't say.
You don't say.
It's mysterious.
I mean, he only conceals his identity as far as we know to you guys. Although, granted, again, given the fact that Pyga recognized Al later, that suggests that they had seen Al's face, so Al was literally just wearing the cloak specifically for moments where we, the audience,
It's
were
kind of
watching.
similar to those, 60s, 70s movies where they keep a character turned away from the camera and the characters that are in the background still do not recognize their face until the character turns to the camera.
They keep saying that man in quotes. It just makes me want to do that in a Frank Miller emphasis thing, like that man is not to be trusted.
It's not in bold, though, Pedro.
I guess, yeah.
It reminds me of a funny thing in Ace Attorney Investigations. Whenever anyone's referring to Phoenix, they never refer to him by name, just as like the man in the blue suit.
Vivian, you're his fairy. Do something instead of just, pitying his misery. Yeah,
I mean,
me too.
I mean, to his credit, rest is important for well-being, Vivian.
All right, next up, you're too
late.
Come on,
You're
step it
too-
up.
Howdy, Lola.
You're too late, Sonic. I am now forklift certified.
I'm not your brother. Stop doing that.
You know, normally we wouldn't fear this whole stuff, even if they're shipped. It's just that anime sadly has a bad habit of
Okay,
shipping
that is true,
siblings.
but both these and, even Dark Force, despite the weird ending that you get with Lola, pretty much prove that the Fang doesn't particularly care about Lola, aside from the customer, shopkeeper, interactivity that they had, and kind of the same is for Lola. So really, the whole thing about Onichan potentially being creepy, I don't really think it's applicable here.
The thing is that the game definitely frames it as them being in a relationship.
I mean, she is one of the shipping options, so...
And technically, she is of age. Well, actually, beyond age. In fact, if anything, she'd sooner be arrested than him if we're going by the age.
We're not gonna start this argument of she's actually 5,000 years old, so that's okay. Please, let's not.
I was gonna say, Joe, that what you said earlier. In terms of the Japanese localizations of Western things that I've seen, I'm glad that none of them have tried to change things and go the sibling shipping route, because you can only imagine how scared I was on the inside, thinking, oh god, they're gonna ship Crash and Coco together.
Oh god. The fact that would not be the first time something like that has happened. Jesus Christ. Aww, you're our favorite customer, Johnny.
Hi, doggy.
That would have been weird. That would have been weird, honestly, because Sony Japan would have objected to Torna, but they would have.
All right.
Yeah, could you
So
imagine
next
that?
up, more than meets the eye.
Expected, but yeah. Hey, look, Crevice Cave.
やっぱりロロちゃんの言った通り
You can hear that they're in a cave because there's an echo to their voices.
There's our defenders over there.
Sound quality.
You can't see them, but trust us, they're there. There's a lot of them there.
Please believe us.
Look at all those Eggman's robots.
Well, that's the thing, though. There are. We actually see how many Eggman's robots there are.
True. But we're trying to be tactful still, Ibfreet.
次々に現れる岩洞のモンスターバッタバッタと簡単に倒していってるだろう。まるで庭の雑草でも狩るように。
想定よりもヤバそうだから足がすくんじゃってるんでしょ
Hmm.
ガルド、準備はできてるか。俺たちが無事に帰れるかは全てがお前にかかってるんだからな。
The great what?
Sorry,
Not too
Galdo.
bad,
Apparently you don't have a choice in the matter.
That's terrible.
You're one of the least interesting characters in the game. You've got to go.
Oh. Okay.
こっちに来るんじゃねえ。あいつらに感づかれちまうだろう。無駄みたいだよ。モンスター、俺たちに気づいた。
So Ibfreet basically went to Leroy Jenkins. So fantastic.
Any unique monsters we fight here?
Probably not.
Pedro?
I'm sorry, what?
What are the monsters we fight here? Are they ones we fought already?
Yes. I mean, we've done Crevice
Alright, so-
Cave before. Oh.
So if there are any unique bosses this route, are you going to show them?
There are no unique bosses in this route.
Oh, so we don't fight Junon.
Nope. We don't even.
Remember-
Well, remember, her. She never had a female. Sorry. She never had a human 3D body that we battled her in Advent Dark Force, so they can't reuse that. Her only thing was the evil goddess, and as you're going to see, the evil goddess part of the story in this game is very lame.
So let me guess, we don't even get to fight the evil goddess
Nope.
this time,
Oh,
do
to be
we?
fair, Joe, we didn't even thought to the Val God. What chance do we have?
Yeah.
Maybe, I guess the evil goddess possesses someone and then talks through them.
Let's just say, Jova, the whole Junon with the wine plot that we saw in Advent Dark Force, which is technically being reused here. I'm not kidding. We get to a point where the game drops it and goes back to focusing on Al Florenglass. So the game introduces the Junon and wine plot, but since it still wants to have the same climax, where we fight Al, the Junon thing basically goes nowhere. It's like it gets left unfinished. That's the weird part.
So there's really no unique bosses between these two routes.
Not really, no. I mean, considering how cheaply made this game has been up until this point, this is really a surprise anymore.
増えていく一方でしょうし、時間が経つほど脅威は増していくでしょうね。
Which means we must kill them
何
all!
か対策を考えないといけないかもしれませんわね
対策って言ってもな。
How we can stop
何
them?
かいいアイデアはないかしら
Don't you mean...
Kill everyone
don't,
you
hold on, hold on. He said, how we can stop them, question mark. Shouldn't it be, how can we stop them? Isn't that how it works? I'm not...
It can be used both.
Is it? Is it? I have never heard anyone ask how we stop them.
Jova?
How do we stop them? You know, with a do. Now that would make sense. You know, I'm not a native English
Hold on,
speaker.
hold on.
Even I have to do fucking English grammar lessons to these translators. Jesus Christ! It's just.
Run the phrase by me again.
Hold on. How we. I'm writing it down, and I will say it again for the sake of the audience. He says, "How we stop them." Like, shouldn't there be a can or a do after the how?
If he was following that up from somebody who's talking about a plan or something, I guess,
Yeah,
maybe.
but he wasn't. That's the thing. It's a again.
Also-
We've seen typos, so we can assume it's one.
He's
Also, why is
singing.
this? Yeah, and why
Well,
is
to
this all dark?
Because that way we don't have to animate it.
It's
He's
weird.
just
like-
reflecting on himself. I think this sequence is unique.
It's like
to
a.
this,
It's like that joke in
yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
definitely.
It's like in
I was
Yu-Gi-Oh.
wondering-
Sorry,
I was wondering if this is another flashback or something.
it is.
Oh, well, in that case, why not just do the sepia tone flashback thing like in the other route?
Hey, XXXX, because we don't want to. So, but remember, we're doing that thing where we don't
Or
want to.
sometimes, yeah, they have the name be censored because it's an important name.
Mm-hmm.
Although that's weird, they didn't do this in the other route, so is there another secret they're hiding?
You'll see. It's like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge. With the castle of dark illusions, my monsters will be covered in shadow, making things much easier to animate. I'm sorry, I was having a flashback.
A pretty villainous flashback by the tone of your voice there. Oh, sorry, we can't hear that. No.
ねえホール、私たち以前にどこかでティアラさんに会ったかしら。
Oh, this is new. Okay, I'll give the route credit. The further we go in, the more I am actually seeing variations. Maybe it was mainly the hospital and Noe fight that were similar, but at least now I'm starting to see some more divergences.
I mean, the Fleur doubting herself and asking Al for answers is something that we also saw in the previous route. This is just phrased differently.
I'm talking mainly about her focusing on Tiara in this case, though.
I guess.
Unless granted it all just leads to the same conclusion, which, yeah, to be fair, the whole he's lying thing, that was something Fleur was catching on to as well.
Don't worry, Fleur. I'm sure Al's legit.
Wait, hold on.
Chapter
So if I
18, The Spiritual Stone.
So if I recall correctly, now that I think about it, initially the plan was to brainwash the heroic gang, essentially, but then those plans were stopped by Al and Fleur, weren't they? So if I understand correctly, Al composed a plan that involved Glass taking over the hero gang, but to play the hero stopped that plan, when arguably couldn't things have gone better if Glass had just been controlling the party from the get-go?
Honestly, I try to understand, Jove, it was more the case of one, establish Glass for him, on his prosperity, establish Glass so she can work for Dorfa, while he, monitors things, and two, have him in a position of party so he can monitor Fang and the others, so he can also grow strong and Eri and Tiara can awaken their respective powers.
Which makes me wonder, was his plan always to sacrifice Fang? Because that would mean he somehow knew Eren and Tiara were going to fall in love with Fang.
Okay, so now Fang is actually making the suggestion that maybe we could run instead of fighting them, because, it's way too big of an army. Yeah, so any other ideas?
We could get more party members.
Yeah, what Galdo just said to you, Jova. I don't think something like that
Hey, Lola.
exists. Hey, Lola.
戦力増やしたいんだよね。あるよ。
なんだなんだ
Oh?
随分と自信満々じゃないかこいつは期待できそうだな
もしや商人のつてで腕利きの傭兵を紹介していただけるとか
I'm the mercenary.
そういう
Yeah, again, sure, man, have you seen many others? Sure, there's the girl with the glasses.
Actually, Kalara, we've established that Pippin is loaded with money. So that's not even true.
いらないよ。
Unless Pippin's broke in this route, hence the butterfly effect?
I guess, but I would like to see proof of this first.
Oh, wait, remind me. Did the story earlier before the divergent point mention that Pippin's still loaded?
Yes.
I think there was at least one skit that had that.
Huh.
Pippin is always rich in this franchise. He was rich in first game too. So
Oh, I know that he was rich in Avendar, so I'm just wondering if they changed that up, hence that line.
no,
'Cause
not
I'm
really.
trying to make some sense of stuff going on. Oh, so Lola joins the party already at this,
Yeah,
this
Pedro
route.
mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's nice. Instead of her joining pretty much near the tail end of the game.
Tail end. Like, she joined in chapter 24. That's literally right. And remember, chapter 25 is literally just the boss and nothing else. So,
Like you said, the 6th Tower Ranger.
So I guess at least in this case, some of her side quests make more sense now, assuming that they're all the same. as
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
In the other route.
yeah, she still has the same side quest, the whole, I'm gonna make merchandise for Pippin, and I know that because when I did replay the game for doing this route, I actually rewatched. That's not one of the few character episodes that I rewatched willingly, because that's one of the few ones that I genuinely like. So, and it was literally copy pasted. Not that I mind, because I like that skit, obviously, but, it's another demonstration that, like, yes, that is true, audience. You can tell me, Pedro, you didn't read every single line of every single skit in this route just to make sure there's not a single different line. I get that, audience, but at this point, I just want to get this game over with, okay? If someone can maybe mention something that maybe I missed, maybe I can make an addendum part or something. For now, let's just stick with what we have. I'm willing to make an addendum part if we find out something. Don't worry. Even if there is something, like, I seriously doubt it's anything all that spectacular, to be honest with you. Daijoubu.
Yep.
Nani?
Yeah, we kind of need that relation too.
You know what's interesting? The word.
Of course you knew. Just stay in your place, Harley, please.
You know what's
Harley has a sixth sense for this stuff.
You know what's interesting?
Uh,
You know what's interesting about Nani meaning what? Nani is actually a Portuguese name, like an actual Portuguese name where it's literally Nani. So
I think it's also a name used in Hawaii every now and then too.
Here it's an actual word. It's the plural for dwarf, so it means dwarves.
Huh.
interesting.
Well, it is kind of short. So what does it mean over in Portugal for the
No,
name?
nothing. It's just a name.
Usually names do have meaning, though, Pedro. Maybe
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
check in. I'll check in the meantime.
I guess, but
Like I said, yours means stone, for example.
true. Yeah.
True. Mine means healer.
そういう意味じゃなくて、ごめんなさい。心配とかしてくれてありがとう。でも、私はお兄ちゃんたちに協力したいって思ってる。
No strings attached.
ドルファにはと商売の邪魔。
I will say, that is a noticeable diverging point that Lola joins the party earlier. I guess the idea is that...
It's not. It's not that much earlier. I mean, we're at chapter 18 already. We're not that far away from the end.
True, but you would think that it's still relatively substantial,
Yeah, like,
as
I
a
mean...
difference. So.
I
I will
guess.
say chapter 18 is definitely a lot earlier than, say, chapter 20 flippin' 4.
True.
Ooh.
Also, I'm
Okay,
guessing... I wonder if the idea is that because you told her the fairy fencer, the fury hunting isn't going this great, she decides to lend a hand earlier.
Hmm.
That's at least one thing I can try and make sense out of for the
Oh,
differences. in
and look at
routes.
that, guys. Next up, we have the Justice Society.
Justice Society.
You might remember this as the society that Junon commands.
お兄ちゃんが探していた。
Wasn't that the Septurian Club?
I think they're called the same thing, if I remember correctly. Even if not, who cares? Moving on.
ごめんね。直接的な手がかりはまだ
If I remember correctly, I think they're the same thing. Just different name.
新規の宝石っていう
That
の
would
を
make sense.
ドルファが探しているっていう話は聞いたよ。
The Spiritual Stone.
なんだそりゃ。
女神の伝説に出てくるアイテムの一つだね。
Sounds like the name of a Zelda MacGuffin.
受けている宝石で
Yeah, it sounds like a MacGuffin I'd hunt down for in a Zelda or Sonic game.
そんなもんをどうしてドルファが。
邪神の
No, Pippin. No, Valgod will not be showing up in this game.
So not
Nah.
appearing in this title.
Not even talking through Tiara.
Never mind the fact that this game literally starts by explaining the Vile God and Goddess lore, like the first game does.
I mean, I guess technically the Vile God and Goddess do still play a part, given Al's whole spiel for revenge and how the Goddess comes back through Aaron to help Al go back in time, at least in the other route.
宝石のありかは分かっているのかしら。噂だけどね。正義会が持ってるみたい。
Probably means
Justice
it's true
Society,
then.
Isn't that lot that was in Blackadder?
To be more specific than that, with
That group in Blackadder that appears.
yes, it's called the Justice Society of America. That's most.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, it existed before the movie, as in a different context.
Yeah, I was gonna say that they came off to me like the discount Justice League.
No, they were the first, in fact.
The guys you get if you can't afford to.
No, definitely not.
So yeah, it turns out Justice Society tried to recruit Sherman.
Yeah, because they're also bringing in.
What a great
They're-
group! They first invite you, and if you say no, they publicly shame you.
So it's a cult. Got it.
Yeah, basically.
I mean, they just established that they're a group of people who want to brainwash everybody into their thing. That's literally a cult by definition.
新規の宝石を奪えれば、ドルファの邪神復活は。
Can I at least play 5 loaves and 2 fishes if I register to the website? So?
いや
eh.
完全に止められるわけではないと思うよ。でも足止めくらいには
Okay then.
Okay, so if I recall correctly, the Justice Society were an organization in league with the Septurian Club in Advent Darkverse.
足止め程度で
It's more like a
Wait.
not necessarily a shell company, but more of a front kind of thing. Joe.
Wait.
Right.
Tiara, what do you mean we have no info on how to resurrect the goddess? Isn't the whole point that we've been collecting fury so we could resurrect the goddess?
I
Isn't
think what she means is that aside from that, they had no idea how to actually do it.
Oh yeah, even Erin admits that when she gets her
Remember-
memories back, she doesn't know what to do after
Remember,
that
they
point.
need the faith drum for that, and they don't know yet about it.
私も賛成だよ。
yeah?
ファング君もいいですね。
Come
仕方
on.
ねえな。付き合ってやるよ。
Can't be helped.
Also, apparently Sherman did show up in Nep Star Connect Chaos Chan Peru.
Like you said, Lola also showed somewhere else. Anyway, before we end the part, the only thing that I could find of the origins of the word Nani is Georgian instead. Meaning uncertain, the earliest known attestation of his name occurs in Osvan source of around 13th century AD, so it might be possibly Osvan origins, also compared to Georgian now Nana, meaning mother as well as darling child. Apart from that, there can also easily be cases where this name is diminutive variant of Nana, which is also of uncertain meaning and origins. Also compare the family names Anana, Anano, Manana, and Nanuri. There you go.
Okay. See you for the next
Nice.
part, everybody.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
See ya.